Alright. Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classics slash Non-Classics. This is episode number 208 and Doubleshot number 142. Well, I have the last two trades just like Dark, just I think I haven't reviewed the first four trades. Well, the thing about the fourth trade is that it just collects just like Dark issues for Blight. And it's the first trade that for James DeMathis's run for just like Dark. I've already covered those issues thanks to the Blight trade, so let's just cover his last two, the last two trades that collect issues from his run. And these two trades combined collect issues 30 to 40, the Futures in One Shot, and in number 2. This is Paradise Lost. I know that's also a movie as well, and it's also a Wonder Woman story. And this one is Lost in Forever. This is a much more thicker trade than the other one. Starting with this one. This one just deals with the after effects of Blight. And it's kind of like a series of loosely connected stories. I mean, there's a story for Dead Man, a story for Nightmare Nurse. The first one deals with John Constantine. Not much for the rest of the characters. Basically, you have Frankenstein and Black Orchid leaving the team with the start of this particular thing. And, yeah. And everybody just leaves. You have first one for John Constantine. You have a story for you have 2 issues dealing with Nightmare Nurse. Yeah, I think it's 2 issues. Yeah, it's 2 issues for Nightmare Nurse. That's the way this works. Then you have, after the whole Nightmare Nurse story, the next few issues just deal with Dead Man. Yeah, the rest of the stuff in here just deals with Dead Man. And then, of course, the Futures End one shot. Of course, it's 5 years later, and apparently the House of Mystery, along with Justice League Dark, is in this nameless dimension. And the lineup for the team at this point is just the way it looks for the lineup for this particular 5 years from now. It is Etrigan and Demon, looks like Santana, who apparently they're a couple. You have Nightmare Nurse, Black Orchid, which it's heavily implied that these two are in fact a couple as well. Let's see. You also have Madame Xanadu, who's in a wheelchair. Meet this new guy and at the end of it, they're still stuck in this nameless dimension, but the artwork in here is still really good. Despite that. Yeah, still really good. Nice set of issues dealing with the after effects of. I mean, there's only about 5 issues in here, so you have a single issue for John Constantine, 2 issues for Nightmare Nurse, and the last 3 deal with just Dead Man, just dealing with the other characters. Yeah, so it's kind of like 3 sort of spotlight issues in a way, dealing with some effects of some of these characters. I mean, there's nothing here for Swamp Thing because these guys are an ongoing series. There's nothing for Santana either. Just for John Constantine, Nightmare Nurse, and Dead Man. And this right here, this is the lineup by the end of the trade. And this is still actually pretty good. So I give this book a 9 out of 10. It's still pretty good. Alright, next up is the final trade that collects issues for the series. And no, I still don't know why DC decided to cancel the series at issue 40. This particular thing, the whole thing is like, kind of like a bit of a loosely connected issue for this particular arc. I mean, it all starts with the annual, where apparently the House of Secrets sort of going to war with the House of Mystery, and apparently the whole consciousness as a man for the House of Mystery and the House of Secrets as a woman. Apparently, the brother and sister, they merge to form the House of Wonders, and then they bring in for John Constantine, who had been kicked off the team, this way coming back on. Basically, she brings in 4 heavy hitters. Brings in Madame Xanadu, Angie Bennett, Black Orchid, and Frankenstein's monster. That's who she brings in. And they go to war with it's kind of like a Justice League Dark Civil War, in a way. They fight each other most of the Zanio, then they all get 7th dimension. And then the first issue just is Souls. It's just a standalone issue. It's just an issue focusing on Zatanna. Then the next part is just I believe the issue that comes right after that. Let's see here. Let's see. It's a story that features Madame Xanadu, Dead Man, and Black Orchid. And oh yeah, this issue is actually something else. Let's see here. You have the next part actually it's Nightmare Nurse, Andrew Bennett, Swamp Thing, and the Frankenstein monster. You got 4 characters. Yeah, that's who part 2 is focused on. Mm-hmm. The next part is focused on Black Orchid, Dead Man, and Madame Xanadu. Yep. All about Madame Xanadu. That one. Yep. It's a nice issue. Of course, the part 4 is just focusing on and of course it cuts back to with part 4 of the story. Most team is reunited at the end of this particular issue, and then like the last couple issues just trying to figure out to conclude the storyline. And at the end of it, John Constantine himself shows up, and apparently throughout most of the time when John Constantine himself shows up to this little story, it's just an illusion. It's not the real person. And as he remembers at the end of this, where he's been up to, apparently he got shipped off to Earth 2. Yeah, here he is, showing up right after the end of his ongoing series. Now, I do have a thing basically where this whole storyline was taking place. You could probably put the whole second half of John Constantine's series from issues 13 to 23. You could put those issues between the start of this arc. You could put the first half of that, after this, and you can have his last arc take place during the same time as this. That's one way to put it for my personal opinion, for chronological purposes. But it does end kind of a nice note as what happens to Justice League Dark. I have no idea. The team disappears from DC Comics, though some of the characters will show up in Secret 6. I mean, Santana, Swamp Thing, Felix Faust, who shows up in this trade too. He does return to dealing with the whole thing with Black Alice. But despite that, this is still really good. And one thing I should mention, though, is DC had planned on replacing this series with the series called Dark Universe, which, as far as I know, has since been canceled. And the creative team behind Hellblaze was going to do that one as well, but they left the book and folded their ideas for that particular series into Constantine Hellblazer. Now, would I like the series to come back with Rebirth? Yes, because this was a great series. Yes, it was. Oh yeah, I get this one 9 out of 10. It's a great conclusion to the series, but yeah. But I keep thinking though, DC, why would you cancel? This is just a good series. And a lot of people, some people probably thought that some of these issues were kind of average at best. The annual was awesome. And I personally enjoyed every single issue for this for these 2 trades, and every single issue for the whole series. And yet, DC, I actually was purchasing Justice League Dark with the Paradise Lost storyline. Yeah, that's where I started purchasing it. Though I was purchasing it with issues 24, 25, and 27. I had bought those issues, but I didn't buy 26, 20, and 20. I didn't buy those 4 issues. But I have been buying this issue number 30, and I got every single issue from that point onwards up until the final issue came out. And I got the annual and the Future Sale one-shot as well. Nice set of issues. I actually own them. But it's sad to see this great series go. I would personally love to see if DC brings the series back, because some of these characters are barely featured in DC Comics. I mean, Santana, her most recent appearance, was shown up in Swamp Thing. Of course, Swamp Thing is an ongoing series. Constantine is still around with his ongoing title. Nightmare Nurse has not been seen since the storyline ended. Dead Man has not been seen. I mean, a lot of the characters who show up in these particular storylines have not shown up since the series ended. Maybe DC would do something more with this title, with these characters, if let's say they bring this title back, or bring back Shadowpact. That was an awesome series as well. With DC, because you need a team of supernatural characters. I mean, this series was awesome. Why end it and just not do anything with it? Of course, that's my opinion. I mean, I haven't heard anybody say anything really bad about the series. I mean, as far as some people who were picking it up did pick up every single issue for the series, and at no point in this series did it ever feel average. That is my personal opinion. Now, why did the annual come out pretty much during the time when the series was ending? Why not the previous year? Probably because Blight would not allow it. So that's the reason why that only 2 annuals were released over the course of a book, released over the course of nearly almost a little over 3 years. Normally, a series is like would release 3 annuals, but my guess is I'm sure that maybe JMS is basically, I'm sure he wanted to do an annual, but because of the whole stuff of Blight, he probably had no time to do it. That's why he saved it for the start of the last arc of the series. I mean, the series ended really nicely, kind of build up stuff that's been building. It basically, it was built upon stuff that's been going on since issue 1. So, really awesome series. Series is up here at 9 out of 10 as well. So, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for our next episode, which should be episode 209. And it might be a triple shot next episode. I don't know. It's my show. I can do whatever I want with it, okay? Until then, see you there. Bye.